Hi, and welcome back. In the previous episode, we wrote some code that moves and turns the player when we press buttons from keyboard. In this episode, we will start animating. We will add idle and walking animations to the player. Let's start. Go to Window menu, select Animation category, and from there, Animation. Let's drag it to the bottom of the scene view so that it becomes a new window under it. Select the player and while it's selected, press Create button from the animation window. A new window opens up and now we need to choose a location where to save this new animation clip. Create a folder for animations and open it. Then write a name of your choice for the animation clip. I will use the name Idle. Then click Save. Now we can see that the player received a new component, Animator. This component deals with the animations of the game object. We don't need to adjust it. Just make sure that the player's animator controller is selected on the controller slot, as it should be by default. Now, let's start assembling the animation. While player is selected, click on Add Property button and open Sprite Renderer and scroll down until you find Sprite from the list. Press the small plus icon on its right. Now we have defined that this animation clip will animate the sprite, which can be found from Sprite Renderer component of the game object. Two keyframes appeared on the timeline of the animation after we added the sprite property. Let's expand the sprite by clicking on the small triangle. Now we can see small icons representing the sprites that are connected to the particular keyframes. Let's also expand the player mushroom sprite from the project view to see the individual frames that we can use in the animation. The two keyframes we have at the start and at the end of the animation are both having the first frame of the idle animation. So let's add the next one after the starting keyframe. Drag the player idle 1 to the timeline. You can adjust its position on the timeline by clicking and dragging it. Move it to 0.1 seconds. Then let's add next one, which is the player idle 2. Move it to 0.17 seconds. Then the idle 3 to 0.24 seconds. Idle 4, which is the last one, to 0.31 seconds. Let's see how it looks at the moment. In the scene view, zoom closer to player so that you can see it better. Then press the play button from the top left of the animation window. Not quite ready yet. We need to add more keyframes, but now in reverse order, since we are coming back to the idle 0 frame at the end of the timeline to make it loop smoothly. But first, let's allow the poor mushroom to have a small break before exhaling. So drag idle 4 from project view to 0.51 seconds. We need to zoom out a bit. Scroll the mouse wheel to see further on the timeline. Then drag the ending keyframe, which should be idle 0, to 1.39 seconds. Then let's drag idle 3 to 0.58 seconds. idle 2 to 1.05 seconds. Idle 1 to 1.12 seconds. Add an extra idle 0 to 1.19 seconds. When we play the animation, it loops smoothly and looks alright. Awesome! Now we have set up our first animation. Next we will set up another one for walking. Press the small button on the left, which displays the name of the animation you created. For me it says idle. Press from there and choose Create New Clip. Save the new clip to the Animations folder and give it a name of your choice. I will give it the name Walk. Add the sprite property to it as well. Drag the frame player Walk 0 somewhere on the timeline. Remove the other keyframes. Then move the Walk 0 keyframe to the beginning of the timeline. Next, drag Walk 1 to 0.05 seconds. Walk 2 to 0.1 seconds. Walk 3 to 0.15 seconds. Walk 4 to 0.2 seconds. And walk 5 to 0.25 seconds. Now, let's see how the animation looks like. It loops well and looks smooth. Wonderful! Now we have animations for idling and walking. However, there are no transitions between them. Currently, the player is stuck on the idle animation. In the next episode, we will use Animator tool to add transitions and write some code to activate the transitioning. Remember to save the scene. See you on the next episode.